Ah.
Okay, good afternoon again. My name is Roberto Cavaliere, Tech Transfer Digital at Neutech Park, and I'm going to moderate this community track. We have in total 8 speakers, so please sit down and relax because it will be a long afternoon, but interesting with a lot of speakers. And the first ones are a couple of speakers, Elena Marchisa, Roberto Palazzetti from Knowedge Engineering, Business Partnership, Osmosit and Knowedge. So please, the floor is yours. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Elena Marchisa, Knowedge Marketing and Communication Specialist for Engineering Group, and a friend near me is Roberto Palazzetti, Osmosit CEO. Today we will retrace the 60 years of collaboration that our companies did together in the open source field, and we will present one of the most interesting results of our partnership, the KeyRef platform. Knowedge is a full capabilities analytics and business intelligence suite with more than 2 million of downloads in its history and many new downloads every day. Knowedge is now widespread in 150 countries. Knowedge Labs directly support more than 100 customers. Knowedge is natively designed to be used on any device and allows you to access any kind of data from any kind of data sources, even at the same time. This allows you to use the data you want for the goal you desire in an open architecture that is really an important enabler, especially if you're looking for a product to embed in yours as OEM. Knowedge is available on-premise, on cloud, as SaaS, and comes in 2 editions. The community edition, freely available, for example, on GitHub with full capabilities, and the enterprise edition that adds a few admin facilities, maintenance, and the access to professional support services. What do I mean when I say that Knowedge offers full analytical capabilities? Well, I mean that Knowedge allows you to perform different kind of analysis from the traditional to the most advanced one. For example, you can perform the traditional business intelligence with self-service, you can deliver static reports, you can monitor your performances with KPIs, thresholds, real-time alerts, etc. You can analyze spatial or geographical information, plotting your data over a map or a schema. You can do what-if simulation, also display the results of your RM Python algorithms, use Solr and Elasticsearch, indexes, faceted views, and full-text search. All this kind of analysis can coexist in the same interactive view. And thanks to Knowedge Easy Data Mashup, you can also combine different data sources in the same view. The advanced high-level customization options also allow you to reach the exact layout you were looking for. The overall result is a dashboard like these ones that allows you to analyze in a simple and interactive way also complex phenomena and huge amount of data. Knowedge is powered by Engineering Group, the digital transformation champion, leader in Italy, and expanding its global footprint in all around the world, as you can see, Europe, United States, South America, etc. This means that Knowedge benefits both from the collaboration and the transparency of the open source community and the expertise and the business capability of a large company. Sorry for the slide.
Thank you for introducing me, Elena. Good afternoon again. Osmosit is a software house company in Perugia. Osmosit was born in 2006. We have immediately decided the open source strategy is our strategy in a business model and in a partnership. The best example of this strategy is our product, QRef. QRef is a cloud platform that manages the food chain in a school. I don't know. And okay. No. A round of this. QRef is a...
Sorry, I think... They are going... It's not working.
Show must go on.
Try now. Seems to work. No.
Again.
But is other pointers that because it seems to go. You have an automatic. I don't know. Can we solve the problem? Otherwise, I don't know, you can just tell without slides, I would say.
Yes, yes. No. Okay. Okay. Again, Kiref is a cloud solution. The target is manage the food chain in a school. In the ecosystem, there are many actors. The municipality that decide the quality of service and the quality of food. The parents that books the meal and pay the service. The company, restaurant that prepare and deliver the food, and the child use this service. In this, there are a lot of data, and Knowedge is perfect because it's a only touch point of a user decide the strategy about of the data. And for example, in a city of 50,000 inhabitants, every day there are 3,000 students use this service. For Osmosit, the partnership with Knowedge is very important because there are a great opportunity of the business, but a great opportunity of open innovation. And in the next release, the functionality of QRF is a functionality of Knowedge because the important manage the data in this service and a lot of life to Knowedge. Thank you.
So thanks a lot. Also, despite the issues, the technical issue with your presentation, but I hope that you got the main message from this speech. Are there any questions? Since we have 5 minutes for Q&A from the audience.
Can I add something?
Absolutely. Take
Okay.
the time.
The Kiref platform success story is also about to be published among the Fireware impact stories and also on Knowedge website. In our opinion, it's a great example of what collaboration in the open source field means, regardless of any kind of specific partnership agreed among us. We really think that any kind of collaboration in this field led to best results for the customer, innovation, and market competitiveness for us. So Kiref is a collaboration between different companies, different products, and also the different community we belong to. So it was a pleasure to briefly showcase it to you. And to know more, you can visit our website or you can visit our stand here at Neutech Park.
May I make a commercial question? Yeah. Who is then offering this joint product to your customers? Both of you, or?
The offering is from Osmosit. So they are our partner. They have an agreed partnership, but they manage.
So you are a little bit in the background, so to say.
Yes.
Interesting. Thanks. Are there any other questions? Otherwise, I would say thanks a lot for your speech. And we start again in about 8 minutes at 15:40. Molto semplice, avanti, indietro e pointer. E pointer. Sì, in realtà si usa. Okay, let's start again. Next speaker is Emanuele Cerroni, Entando manager, and he will talk about composable enterprise concept and Entando platform, right?
More or less. Will.
Thanks a lot. Welcome.
Thank you for being here. So, hello everyone, and thank you SFCom for the opportunity to be here to learn some things about composability. So, I am a COBOL developer. So we start from this point. So usually I am a COBOL developer. I know that is some things that is not so usual in this kind of conference, but I starting from here, and today, fortunately, I moved from COBOL, and I'm spending my time and my experience to support our developer community, certified developer community, to help Entando to grow more alliance and partner for what do. So, just here. More here. Wow. Now my voice is good. Thank you. So, what is Entando? Just 2 words before to introduce you Lisa, that will come on the stage with me today. And Entando is an application composition platform. So, it's an open source application composition platform. It's some things that we are developing with our community of partner of our developer community. So I want just to start, because we have not so much time. And so Lisa, welcome to the stage. Lisa, are you coming or not? Not yet.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, Lisa,
Hi,
welcome.
Thank you for being here to listen to Composability and Entando. My name is Lisa, and before starting, I want to tell you what Entando means.
Okay.
Entando is a Sardinian word that we can translate into English as. What's next? We have little time here. So, Emmanuel, if you agree, I want to move next to the presentation. Is that okay for you?
Let's go.
So let's start. We have less than 10 minutes to go deeper into composability and to understand if it is true that future application experience will be built from composable business capabilities that can quickly enable new business scenarios. More companies are fighting with complex and siloed applications, portfolios that make it challenging to respond to business needs and to survive and thrive in an increasingly dynamic and competitive business environment. Uncentrally is the problem that we want to solve. We want to make the application's portfolios more flexible, resilient, and adaptive to business priorities. A composed enterprise takes a modular approach to business, where outcomes are delivered using pre-existing building blocks called Packaged Business Capabilities, PBCs. This is what Gartner called composable enterprise. A plug-and-play company that uses a composable platform to redeploy, reconfigure, and reassemble PBC quickly and efficiently to go faster to market, promptly align with rapid business changes, and enable more incredible innovation. Entando Platform wants to support businesses and CIO, architects, and developers to build applications that align with this goal, applications that they can quickly reconfigure and reassemble easily. It is good to start with this question. What is a composable application? It is crucial to think about what we want to build. Here is a good definition. Composable applications are an orchestrated assembly of independently deployable and encapsulated software components. Each building block, PBCs, defined a well-defined business capability, recognizable by a business user and packaged for programmatic access. PBC are the design unit of a composable application. They represent fully functional components with user experience, underlying business logic, API, and configuration, all integrated into a single package. Just look at this example. If you were building an e-commerce application, imagine simply assembling the application with a well-defined number of PBC as catalog and product, customer and account, checkout and pay, and basket. In doing so, you are curating the user experience journey and providing all the necessary logic to create a fully functional app. PBC has many benefits. You can map them directly to a business service. PBC can also curate end user experiences, bringing a consistent look and feel across the application. Architects can define the right technology stack that fits the scope and the goal of each PBC. Developers can develop a PBC independently with no constraint from other developers. Developers or less skilled programmers can build applications by assembling PBC using visual consumption mechanisms. In many cases, application teams can also use PBC to build platforms and efficiently offer customers capabilities. Modularity is a requirement for composability. Since the early days of programming, there has been a constant evolution in the way software is written, packaged, and consumed to increase efficiency and reusability. Independence between teams, between code, and between the development team and deployment team are requirements for composability. We need a cloud-native full-stack composable technology approach. With the advancement in development technologies, it is not surprising that you can manage the entire application fabric using composable software components. Much advancement for sure has been focused on business logic code. Well-defined API can be easily integrated, interchanged, and composed. Thankfully, there has been a significant advancement in UI technology and frameworks in recent years. Unlike monolithic UI, single-page applications, modern-day interfaces are task-specific single-purpose contextual apps. These single-purpose apps, called micro-apps, can be assembled into fully functional apps with micro front-end technology. Here is one of our powerful assumptions on Intando. Intando assumes micro front-end and microservices as components for composing applications. Modularity is a prerequisite, but there is a missing piece. To build a composable application, we need something representing PBC from a platform point of view. It would be best if you had an artifact that contains all the information to deploy and compose the components. This artifact is the Intando bundle, a package containing one or more components. The structure of an Intando bundle leverages composable development methods, decoupling microservices, micro frontends, API management, and services such as databases. Intando version 7.1, released 3 days ago, introduces a Docker-based approach for the Intando bundle structure. The Intando bundle was restructured, its processes decoupled by component type, and the publishing transport method was streamlined. With these changes, Intando bundles went from Git-based to Docker-based OCI bundles. This makes easy use and reuses of the bundle core components, microservices, and micro frontend independently from Intando. We had all the pieces, a fully modular architecture and technology stack, and an artifact that reasonably represents PBC. Do we need something else to build a composable application? Sure, we need a platform. This platform is Intando. Intando is an application composition platform. It is what you need to build cloud-native composable applications on Kubernetes. Intando enables developer teams to better collaborate between themselves and with business users by composing or recomposing cloud-native applications from shareable modular pro-code business components in a low-code application builder. It enables parallel teams to accelerate the development and innovation of business capabilities. Intando is a Kubernetes distributed platform and composable environment that provide a secure and trusted environment with core capabilities to build distributed applications. The first is the Platform Identity Provider, the IPE. We integrate Keycloak in our platform. Keycloak is an open-source software product allowing single sign-on with identity and access management aimed at modern applications and services. The second is the Intando Kubernetes Operator. The Intando operator processes the custom resources in Kubernetes that represent the different components of a composable application. The goal of the operator is to provide automation and a set of default configuration options to simplify and accelerate the deployment of an Intando application. Finally, Intando platform allows developers to use whatever tools, runtimes, software languages, software frameworks, middleware, Kubernetes platform, cloud platform, DevOps processes, or governance that they currently use to compose applications. That's it all. Not yet. But we are coming to the end of our journey. Intando platform organizes the development of an application into 4 stages: create, curate, compose, and consume. In the simplest terms, you create, develop functional building blocks, curate them into a catalog, and compose them onto an app or portal, which a user then consumes. For each persona of this composable pipeline, Intando provides tools dedicated to supporting them. Creators are developers and architects who design and create each independent component or functional block. Developers can use their preferred framework, technologies, and the Intando component generator and blueprint to automate the building and packaging of project files, with the flexibility to customize while using software they are accustomed to. The modular design of apps built on Intando means new business capabilities can be integrated into your application without reworking existing systems. Development teams can bundle and share components within a central catalog managed by curators. Multiple teams can collaborate on a single component or packaged business capabilities, PBCs, and share them across organizations and applications. They can test and assess components for readiness, manage and publish versions, and share metadata for continuous upgrades. The compose stage is centered around the Intando App Builder, a low-code composition user interface. In the App Builder, the composer can assemble new components or upgrade existing ones with templates, widgets, and PBC. The Intando Component Manager and Local Hub are integrated into the App Builder to manage your components, making the process flexible and agile. The composer can connect one or more hubs to the App Builder. The Intando App Builder environment, starting from version 7.1, can be extended using the EPC framework to include headless tools supporting composability. In the development lifecycle of an application, consume is the execution stage where users interact with the app. On Intando, the modular design of components and services means they can be scaled individually or as a whole according to those interactions. Likewise, content can be updated, engine rules adapted, and upgrades seamlessly. As a result, the development cycle is a continuous process with minimal disruptions and faster time to market. Hey everyone, thank you for your attention. It's time for me to go. Emmanuel, it's your turn.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for your praise. So, no one knows that Lisa is programmed in COBOL. It's true. I programmed her during this week. She's based on services, so it's created with an AI platform. So it's not real person that is speaking here. So, but it's not developed in COBOL. So thank you. And here we are at the end, 53 seconds, just to have 3 actions that we can be in touch together. The first one is go on our developer portal. You can find all the information or the code that you can download, install, use, try, do what you want to do with Intando. It's for us important that someone test it, consume it, and come back with feedback with us. The second one is the opportunity to be part of our community. We have a developer community that is named Mod Squad Community. Here there is the link, you can go in, you can be part of this. There is some people that is advocated to animate, to manage this community. Last one, obviously, if someone is looking for a new, interesting way to try to evaluate itself in function of this new project, you can be part of our team. So we are really open.
Thanks a lot.
You're
Perfect
welcome.
timing. So the time is over. Unfortunately, we cannot have any further questions and answers, but you can, of course.
Sure,
speak,
you're welcome.
Emanuele. So thanks a lot. In 5 minutes, we start again with the next speaker. Let's continue our track. I'm very happy to introduce Marta Andreoli, Deputy Coordinator for Italy of the Free Software Foundation Europe, and she will provide an overview of the Italian free software community. Thanks, Marta. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you, everyone. My name is Marta, and I'm the Deputy Coordinator for FSFE Italy. So it's a big fancy word to say that I'm here to support you as the free software community. So in order to do that, I thought that my first task for the job was that of conducting a research on all the realities that are actually taking part in free software in Italy. And today I'm here to present this small research that I actually curated. So I hope you enjoy, and also you can find my contact details on the bottom of the presentation. If you have any inputs for me or want to reach out or questions or anything, please feel free to pop an email or talk to me on Telegram. So before starting, I obviously wanted to mention the 4 freedoms of free software: use, study, share, and improve, which is why we all love free software. This is a sneak peek of some of the realities that I researched on. And in Italy, there are over 150 smaller communities, so it's a lot out there. So again, please forgive me if I didn't mention all of the realities that you might know or you might be involved into. And again, feel free to reach out to me at the end of the presentation. I'd like to start with the FSFE, which is the organization I collaborate with. And I'm going to mention their winning initiative, in my opinion, of this year, which is the Public Money, Public Code campaign that aims at promoting free software as the standard, basically the standard for publicly financed software. So in Italy, we had 4 events this year already of this campaign in Milan, Trento, Bologna, and Sicily, and I want to really thank all of the volunteers that hosted these events. In the presentation, you will see that I added also the contacts of each of the organizations, so that if you are new to the world, you can also get in touch with them and maybe just dive deeper into some of the themes that I'm touching on today. SFSCon, thank you so much for hosting me today. Another very smart initiatives, 2 days of conference. And moving on, we have the Italian Linux Society, one of the oldest organizations about free software in Italy since 1994. Their winning initiative, in my opinion, is the Italian Linux Day, which happens every year, one day, where all of the free software enthusiasts meet across Italy. This is a picture of the event hosted in Turin. When we talk about Italian Linux Society, we cannot avoid to mention the Linux user groups, which are basically also spread across the Italian territory. And you can find more about them on the look map, but here I just want to show you what they do. Actually, that's just an example, obviously for fun. They have great initiatives, and I really highly encourage all of you to dive deeper into the looks. Moving on, I'd like to talk to you about Wikimedia Italia and educational content, and obviously public domain. Their winning initiative, in my opinion, is Wiki Loves Monuments, which is the yearly biggest photo contest on cultural heritage, happening every September. Wikimedia Italia is also the Italian local chapter for the OpenStreetMap Foundation since 2016. And the OpenStreetMap community is really active in Italy. Especially they keep the map up to date, and they also organize a lot of cultural events. For example, here we can see all of them at the State of the Map event that happened this year in Florence. The OpenStreetMap community of Italy also meets normally at the FOSS4Geo Italy, which is the international free open source conference for geospatial. And this year, the International FOSS4Geo happened again in Florence, so we didn't have the Italian one, and they all met at the FOSS4Geo International again in Florence. Enough with open data and geospatial, but I want to conclude with the geographic free and open source software, GFOSS Italy, which since 2007 is the Italian local chapter for OSGeo, the Open Source Geospatial Foundation. Let's talk a bit about creativity, and obviously I want to thank the lawyer Deborah De Angelis, who is the coordinator of the Creative Commons Italian chapter, which helps us to kind of overcome legal obstacles to share knowledge and creativity. When we talk about Mozilla Italia, what comes to my mind is Healthy Internet, and their winning initiative, or a project that I know they have been working on constantly for this year, is the Common Voice. As I like to describe it, is basically teaching the machines how to talk like humans. But I'm sure that if you reach out to them on their communication channels, they will be able to explain better. Finally, I'd like to thank Libre Italia, which is the organization that actually enabled me to prepare this presentation, the home of Italian users and contributors of the LibreOffice project. And their winning initiative, in my opinion, is the fact that they helped the transition and the migration of the Italian Ministry of Defense to LibreOffice, with a saving basically between 26 and 28 million of euros per year spent on licenses. So a big thank you to Libre Italia. When we talk about the public administration, we cannot avoid to mention Developers Italia, which is an initiative by the Presidency of the Council of Ministers in Italy. And in my opinion, Developers Italia fills the gap between the bureaucracy of the public administration, which in Italy we are really well known for, and the actual implementation of free software. So big congratulations to their job, Developers Italia. Assoli is one of the oldest associations in Italy that actually has the objective of spreading free software in Italy and also informing about free software. And in my opinion, one of the nicest things they could do for the Italian community is that of creating the mailing list called Discussioni, where all the community had the opportunity to interact and discuss matters related to the free software. So thank you, Assoli. Moving on, and still on the topic of aggregation, I want to mention Mergit, which is an idea born to aggregate all of the realities that want to defend free software rights in Italy. And they were born for the first time in 2018, and they still continue with a monthly call. And so I highly encourage you to look for their Telegram channel and join, so you can also join the call and contribute to the community. Moving on, Autistici Inventati has an anti-capitalist and antagonist background, and they fight for digital rights. They also have their own independent server. They offer a mailing list, email, blog, and so on. And you're most welcome to go and have a look at their communication channels. Diny.org Foundation. I want to say hello to Jaromil, who is probably following us online right now. He's the founder of Diny.org. He lives in the Netherlands, and worth mentioning that since 2013, Diny.org is collaborating with the European Commission on some projects that are about digital and social innovation and also circular economy, such as Zcode and Reflow. So in your free time, please go online and have a look and maybe, just read and research about them because it's really worth it. Then we have the HAC meeting, which is a big event that happens in September. We had the last edition this second weekend of September. And the HAC meeting is kind of the encounter of all of the Italian digital countercultures. It's a self-organized event, so there is no organizer, and everyone is welcome. Again, you can also check this one out. And finally, I want to talk about data, open data, with the Association on Data, which promotes open data in the public administration for the common good. And in my opinion, their winning initiative is Dati Bene Comune, which is a campaign to demand quality and open data about COVID-19. I think that that's all from my side. So I hope that I managed to give you a brief overview on all of those realities. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, I really encourage you to dive deeper into some of their projects, some of the associations, and also, again, reach out to me and give me your input if you think that I didn't mention some of the realities that are out there or some of your own personal initiatives. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Marta, for your presentation. Are there any questions from the audience? No, I had one. You had this great overview of all the free software initiatives in Italy, and probably there are many others. What could be the role of the Free Software Foundation Europe in Italy? So what is the added value that you would like to bring?
Okay, thank you so much for this question. Actually, I think it's a really nice question. So I think the role of FSFE could be that of uniting all of these different realities and bringing them together, just senza pretese, as we would say in Italian. So just to create a stronger community and give a platform to all of these very, very nice and interesting realities to go and work towards a common objective. So I invite you all tomorrow morning also for the workshop that we will have on the future of free software in Italy.
Thanks a lot, Marta.
Thank you.
Looking forward to your job. So, if there are no other questions, so let's make the usual 5 minutes break and let's meet at 16:20 again. Thanks a lot. Okay, so let's start again. Next speaker, Grazia Cazzin, Director of Knowledge Labs, isn't it? And she will present some use cases, application of your knowledge.
Thank you.
Welcome, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I try, Okay. Too much? Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Grazia Cazzin from Engineering Group, the first Italian IT private company in the IT field. And I handle the whole offering in the data and analytics domain, and I'm the director of the Knowage Lab, the unit that builds Knowage, that is an open source solution for data and analytics. Engineering, as I said, is the big player in Italy and also a worldwide company with more than 11,000 employees and many offices all around the world. And herein we have a data and analytics competence center where with a lot of professionals that cover all the needs in the data strategy domain. So we work on data architecture up to data processing using traditional or advanced models and analytics. We build a lot of machine learning and artificial intelligence models, and we close the chain, we are providing end-to-end solution with the data visualization capabilities of sometimes Knowage, some other all the market tool we have, so as build effective solutions. Now, before talking about the use cases I choose to talk to you, I just want to introduce Knowage, because this is the open source solution we worked on and we use in the use cases I talk about. Knowage is the first, is a full suite satisfying all the ABI criteria. ABI stands for Business Analytics and Business Intelligence. So we satisfy all the criteria defined by Gartner for this market sector. And so we cover all the modern BI capabilities usually that the customer usually asks for, such as self-service and undock reporting capabilities. We provide mashup capabilities that allow you to combine data that come from different sources, and you can use the different data type and data sources in the same dashboard, in the same document. This way you can follow your goals using different data and for the purpose you have. We are open source and we also adopt open standards. That means that that the product allow you also to follow your business practice in terms of OEM agreement, in terms of you can also embed the product in your solution and do more. So just a few pictures to show you what ABI means. That means providing static report capabilities, the traditional reporting, such as a PDF, a well-structured PDF that you can produce online or in a batched way on a scheduled basis, or you can go towards more interactive analysis, such as the OLAP, that is the basis also for what-if analysis over hierarchical dimensions and measure. And you can use interactive dashboard, that is the common use BI today. And the user can also produce his own dashboard using this solution for self-service analytics, for to produce analysis in an autonomous way. And then we have the data exploration, the visual. Okay, I understand. The visual data exploration that allow you to explore your data space without writing code, just selecting fields, look at the result, adding, calculate fields, filters, and so on, and the KPIs that are measured already evaluated, so with thresholds that can explain if the value is okay, the performance is okay or not. And we manage also spatial data that you can combine with other or with the mashup capabilities I told before. And we also provide a private workspace for each user, where he can build his own environment, choosing the preferred documents, or build by himself the document he wants. And then you can also embed into Knowage some piece of code you want. If you are practiced with Python, if you are practiced with HTML or with other custom chart library, the one you prefer, you can embed your own into the product in a well-managed environment. So as you can reach a high-level customization view. And you can build the layout you want for your data and for your customer. Everything at the enterprise level, so we provide all the administrative capabilities that allow to manage the server, the platform, and the service. The universal data set is one of the main concepts that is the one that allow to provide data that come from different sources in a direct way when provided by IT people or using meta model in the self-service path. Every time you can combine different data that come at the same time from different sources in a view, as in those examples. On the left, you have spatial data that are well combined with traditional data, and when you click on one side, you have filter on the other, and the opposite in the opposite. On the right part, another example where we combine solar indexes. You can do the same with Elasticsearch, Existence, and you can combine the full text search, that the faceted view provided by Solar with external mashup to other data that are not in the index. So you can use the index to go into other data and for a more depth analysis. Those are some examples of the dashboard you can build with a good, nice layout, very complex structure that you can customize as you want using those kind of capabilities. You can inject HTML code, you can use the custom library you want, or inject or Python code. In this way, you can pre-build your own custom components that you can use again and again in other dashboard, over other data using the gallery or the catalog function. Okay, so I introduced those features because those are the features we use in these use cases, where we combine IoT, machine learning, and data visualization for an end-to-end solution. The first use case is about predictive maintenance in the manufacturing domain. Here we work on a plant where we collect operational data that comes from jobs, alarms, any kind of sensor the customer have in the field, features, and so on. And this at runtime, at real time, at the end of each workload, we ingest those data in a data lake on the cloud. And here we build a lot of machine learning algorithms that for three purposes. First, to learn how each equipment works, not alone, but in the ecosystem it is working in. You can think about a production line where you have a lot of robots, a lot of machinery that work in a station at the same task. So we analyze each equipment, but not alone in the ecosystem, to learn what is its standard behavior in order to understand an unusual behavior without an history of fault, to predict the expected behavior in a week, in a month, and more, and to detect if the predicted behavior should be well enough. And we have a lot of machine learning here to understand data, to prepare data, to transform data, and to do what I say. The result was very complex, but the end user is not a data scientist here. The end user is an engineer of the maintenance. He just needs to know how long each equipment will perform well enough. And so we build a simulation model using a dashboard where he can play with the thresholds to say, okay, if I wait you can see the expected behavior with the with some thresholds. You can say, okay, if I wait 2 weeks and I don't change now this component, I wait 2 weeks, how much money I can save in terms of operation, in terms of equipment, and so on. What is the risk I'm involved in? And you can play with threshold in order to understand what should be the better decision in the maintenance tasks. And everything has been done using open source with this stack, with Cloudera for the data lake, Spark and Python for all the machine learning models, and Knowage for the data visualization and for the simulating model, where we collect also other data that come from the ERP, SAP, SAP, or other systems to build those kind of impact analysis, starting from the machine learning results. This is another similar use cases where we again work with IoT, machine learning, and data viz. And in that case, we start working with the power consumption we can measure at domestic domain, at home. But here we have just one measure, and we want to understand what is the energy consumption of each appliance we have at home, the TV, the radio, the light, the wash machine, and so on. And this is so difficult because usually you take a lot of data and you aggregate them. Here we have just one data and we have to break it into single component of this data, understanding what is the right equipment. So we build again a lot of, we use IoT sensor to take data. We use a lot of models to understand the signature in terms of power consumption of each equipment, and then we use the only data we have, the energy consumption at home, to understand what are the single components that at the same time are running with the different signature, and what is the right combination that can produce this kind of energy consumption. Also here we work with open source, just open source, with Cassandra, Python, PostgreSQL, and Knowage for different end. And again, the result is not for a data scientist. A lot of data scientists work here, but the result is not for them. The result is an end user that could be each one of us, because I want to know how much money I can spend, how much money I can save in the energy consumption at home, using a different setting for my appliance. And so, every time, complexity, but usability in open source. Those are some values, the last slide. I'm talking about a professional open source, as I talked at the beginning, that is trusted and well managed. And here you have a lot of value working in this way. And if we are a public administration, we have obviously also a common value working in this way, producing open source, but also supporting open source, because here the value is for everybody, not just for some companies.
Thanks a lot for this very nice presentation and use cases. And I would like to close here because we have no time, and in a few minutes we will start with the next speaker. Thanks a lot. Okay. Welcome again. Next speaker, Daniele Pizzoli from the Department for Digital Transformation, also FPCAP or previous experience.
Yes.
And he will present the Italian way to the cloud. So welcome, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. It's nice to be here and to present. Is not at the starting point. So the Italian way to the cloud, because there is an ongoing effort in order to bring the public administration to the cloud and the cloud to the public administration. And since this is a community event and a free software community event, I also have a call to action in order to build something together. The Digital Transformation Department works to promote the delivery of easy-to-use, inclusive, and efficient digital services. We do a lot of things, but in this stage, I want to present to you especially the digital infrastructure and cloud topic. So the idea is to strengthen the public digital infrastructure, foster the adoption of the cloud for public services. There are a few points that are not so well known, let me say, so I want to do a brief recap. There is the Italian cloud strategy. It was presented last year in September. We have the National Strategic Hub, called in Italian Polo Strategico Nazionale. I will speak about it later. We have the Developers Italia catalog, software catalog. Previously, in the previous talk, there was a mention of the activity of Developers Italia, so it was nice to be recognized as a community member. There is an intersection between what we do and the PNR funds. There is a target in order to reach the PNR target to have the 75% of the public administration to use cloud services. And there is a technical manual called in Italian Manuale di Abilitazione al Cloud that should help public administrators in order to bring some confidence with the cloud and what is all, let's say, these new things that is not really very new, but for the public administration could be. The Italian cloud strategy, you can have in the presentation there are all the links, is one of the few documents that we have in English, because most of the production is in Italian, of course. But you have, let's say, a summary on what is the Italian cloud strategy. If you are working in a public administration, you should at least know it. And just to be, let's say, to focus the talk on what you know and what you don't know, if you can raise your hand if you work in a public administration, just so not so many. Oh, a few. Most, I think, can say 10 person. And have you ever know about it? Yes, some yes, some no. Because it will for sure interest you. Another thing that I want to mention is the catalog of free software built by Developers Italia. That is a brand of the department. We have mostly two brands. One is Developers, one is Designer. And in this catalog, you will find software that you can reuse as a public administration. There are a couple of sections. One is more related to free and open source software. Another one is their use, but in the end, this means that the software is made available under an open source license. There are also European initiatives regarding this kind of catalogs, but if you follow, let's say, the news, you will be aware in a few weeks about this. And yes, the Manuale di abilitazione al cloud is a document that could help you in order to, let's say, have some knowledge about the terms of the cloud, what are the issues into migrating to the cloud, how you can manage, let's say, in a high level, the migration to the cloud. There is no specific, let's say, mention about the technologies. Is really quite high overview, but should help you to plan the migration. The National Strategical Hub, or Polo Strategico Nazionale, is what will be basically the data center that will host the services to the public administration, mostly the central one, so not municipality, not schools, but let's say central PA like ministry or national health services, because into the Italian cloud strategy there is a differentiation between the data, let's say how sensible are the data, so they can be ordinary or critical or strategical, and you should place your data, if you are a public administration, in different kind of cloud that have different kind of security measure, and you should match between into the Italian cloud strategy. There is this kind of specification. So PNRR, there is a portal called PA Digitale 2026.gov.it, when if you are a public administration can find all the advices and apply to the portal in order to get money, in order to move your service to the cloud or offer a better service to the citizen. There are really a lot of different advices into the department. There are different teams that follow different advices. You can find really a lot of advices that helps you to bring modernize, let's say, your services. Okay, now are going more into detail of, let's say, the community part. In the department, we have also, as I told you briefly before, a community of designers and a community of developers. And those communities offer some software in order to be reusable. And the project I want to present you now are one related to the municipalities, so Design Comuni Italia, that is a WordPress theme that you can download and install, and you have, let's say, your website with the correct section that are sometimes mandated by law in your website. The other project is for the school, and more or less is the same. You have a plugin for WordPress that can use as a basis to build your website. There are a lot of facilitation and user research in those teams, so most of the time you will find them useful. There is also this app that is a brand new. My colleagues are working on improving it day by day now. And I think that this is one of the first, for me it's the first, but maybe you know that there was something previously done. So it's an evaluation app that you can use by evaluate your website if it matches the criteria in order to get the fund, but also you get some suggestion in order to improve your website, for example, in accessibility or rules that are not really strict, but it's better that you follow them. And so this is an automated tool to evaluate the public administration, let's say, procedure that brings something new in, let's say, in the usually paper-based work in the public administration. So you don't have only to produce, paper that attest that you did something, but also you have an automatic checker. And what's the part that I'm interested in your interest? Those tools are right now packaged as software that you run in your machine or you have to install manually. And our idea is if we provide better tools around in a DevOps way, we can foster the adoption of the tool, make them easy to test, install, and maintain. So we just started this repository where the installation of the theme for the school is automated, and also the test suite is installed automatically. This version is just a preview, but I think is the first step that can help us to provide a better developer experience, and also to try to start a DevOps community inside the public administration, or let's say the partner, the provider that will provide software and services to the public administration. You have the link in the slide. The slide will be available under the presentation soon, so check it out. We have a lot of channel to you can reach us through this channel, and yes, we have 3 minutes for your question. I'm really happy to answer. If you want to just speak to me privately later, I will be available. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I see already here a question at the back. There is a microphone beyond you. Thanks.
Nice presentation. Thank you. I have a question about something which is of interest, I think, of any citizen in Italy. And it's the question, we are asked to, or we are pushed to use the so-known SPID to make identification on any kind of public services. My government give me an identity card, so-called CIE, Carta Identità Elettronica, which is not running, my knowledge is not running even with proprietary software, is not running under Linux, and we only use Linux in my family. And so, what about it? And, but the same card is working, give identities and identify the person on foreign services. So, it looks like it is the services on the web pages, which is, say, unfortunately, not running, not accepting this. I don't want to be pushed to use SPID.
Totally clear. I will ask later if you don't, it's not really on topic, so if we have a question on topic, I'm glad to ask. If not, I really want to ask also this question.
There is a question here.
Okay, in the meantime that the microphone comes, I will try to ask. I know that there is a repository, it's a public repository about the CIA. I don't know the details. A colleague of mine is in charge. I can try to gently push it, but let's say my question is, have you tried to open an issue or ask, okay, so you did all the, let's say, the stuff you can manage.
Okay, thank you for your presentation.
I want only to say that I was on that repository.
Please, can you use the microphone otherwise?
Just to say before turning to another argument, I was on that repository. I know some issues on that repository of middleware for CIA, for Linux and Unix in general. And I think that there was somewhat it was somewhat abandoned software. So I think that if we can try to raise issues on that repository, we can advance the project and improve it. And maybe it would be the case for integrate that project and that software, that middleware, in some middleware like OpenSC, which is one of the major software dealing with smart cards and this kind of.
I think that.
So these are a good question for putting issues in the repository.
Sorry, we are running out of time. Sorry, also Paolo. I think you can continue the discussion also.
It was on topic.
Yes. Sorry, but the time is limited.
Thank you so much.
Thank you a lot.
And see you again.
And I'm happy that the discussion was very hot here. See you in 3 minutes, and we go on. Okay, so next speaker, Sara Tumiati from the South Tyrolean Association of Municipalities. You can translate this as such in English. Presentation of GovIS 2.0, and I think there is some relationship with the previous speech. Yes. Welcome, the floor is yours.
Thank you all. Okay, I'm going to talk about GovIS 2.0. It is our new project for a new architecture for our municipalities based on microservices and continuous integration. Okay, this is me. I am proudly graduated to the Free University of Bolzano-Bolzano. Thank you. I'm proudly graduated at the Free University of Bolzano in computer science. And my role in GovIS 2 is Scrum Master and monitoring of the code produced and the architecture proposed. This is the state of the art. We are starting from here. This is our oldest and proud child, GovIS 10. And this is a thick client-server based software developed in Delphi 2010. And it has a limited operability with external systems because it is a thick client. And it is has a lot of modules. It has circa 15 modules. These are two screenshots of our two of the mainly used software. One is the print system, the small one, and the largest one is our technical software for public constructions. Sorry. GovIS 2, I will not say so much about the whole project because last year Michele Thais did a nice presentation about the project, but I will only tell you that this is a web-based application based on microservices and developed API first with an API first architecture. And we plan not to throw away the old system, but to translate it with new technologies. This project is mainly funded by the European Regional Development Fund. The main structure of GovIS 2 is Java microservices. We decided to use Java microservices with Spring Boot and OpenAPI REST API. And each microservices can be one of these two types, support and business services or connector services. So support services are in the scope of these services are to interact with internal platforms that are internal in the consortium domain. We have quite all the control on these modules. And for example, we have control on the authentication and authorization process or data extraction or the document management system. And connector are services that are not under our direct control. For example, external platforms like Impresa in un Giorno from Infocamere or MyCivis, our local Rete Civica MyCivis, or in future PagoPA platform or NPR, our national residency anagraphic and other national product and projects. Each microservice can rely on a set of common libraries which are suitable for security, multi-tenancy, data connection, and logging or messaging. And each microservice exposes REST API through OpenAPI. We developed the UI, so the user interface using Vaadin. And the UI is a monolith that interacts only with services. And the REST services, the OpenAPI services. The connectors, so the out of domain, are not used directly by the UI, and the UI interacts only with services. And connectors and services can communicate simultaneously or asynchronous using RabbitMQ. If in future we decide to use another UI, another user interface technology, we can throw it away and implement another technology like Angular. This is an example of a logical structure. This is our license module. You see there is a connector, the infocamera connector, which is a different green that is external from our control that communicate through IMQP via IMQP to our license service. And this is the business logic, and the licenses service use other services through OpenAPI. And for example, here it is represented also our DMS service, which is an interface that it is then has then a lot of implementations for each platform used behind. For example, our is a German company that provides our DMS, but in future we can switch to Alfresco, and Fresco is one of among others. And it is only sufficient to implement a new proxy, and the REST API doesn't change. And then you see the small pieces at the bottom are common libraries that are used not as services, but as directly as libraries in the code. This is another example of login, the login process. You see the front end developed in Spring Boot and Vaadin that uses Spring Security and a Keycloak adapter. Keycloak is the product that we use for authorization process. And we use JWT token to manage the authorization and authentication. Each microservice implements this Keycloak adapter and uses this JWT token to manage the authorization process. Then, after the logical structure, the physical infrastructure, we decided to go to a Kubernetes cluster. Each cluster has one control plane, one master, and two or more nodes. It depends on the resources we need. Each cluster has installed a service mesh, a NoSQL storage for non-application critical information, user authentication, Keycloak for user authentication, JWT token management, and service authorization. And a framework for logging, so Elasticsearch with FluentD and its UI Kibana, and the monitoring tools for Prometheus, Grafana, Jaeger, and Chiali. And then a separate server, which also it can be a cluster of servers with Postgres. We decided to implement our physical infrastructure using continuous integration and continuous delivery, using Docker images, Kubernetes pods. Also, our modules are all Docker images, which are stored in our GitLab, so our Kubernetes cluster reads directly our container registry and downloads and installs all the pods. We have custom Maven builds and Helm charts that stores all configuration files. So, for example, the application properties file for Spring Boot are not directly in the pod, but are externalized in Helm charts so that when we install the same pod in the 3 different environments, dev, quality, or production, we have only to change the configuration in the Helm chart, and this is portable. No properties are hard-coded. These are all externalized. We have nightly builds with unit testing automated, launched by Jenkins. This is our application lifecycle management. As I said, we have GitLab as version control and container registry. Jenkins manages all the continuous integration and continuous deployment, continuous development. Jenkins launches Maven custom builds. Maven performs code analysis, quality control, documentation, unit testing, and so on. And then through some scripts, we launch Docker commands and Kubernetes commands to deploy our pods in our Kubernetes environment. Of course, we have also a local asset repository so that all libraries, common libraries, and also all jar products and Maven snapshot products and release products are stored in JFrog Artifactory asset repository and retrieved when needed. Last but not least, we decided to use all open source products. We decided to produce all code with an open source license. We plan to publish the code in the next few months, and all the software produced will be published on the Italian Catalogo del Software a Riuso that was present a few minutes ago by our colleague from team for Italia Digitale. These are 2 screenshots of our product, the login mask and the license module. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Are there any questions from the audience? Okay, no questions. I have one. Yes. Sorry. Wait. The
microphone.
Is it already deployed or in production, or this infrastructure, or not?
We plan to introduce it in the next weeks for testing purpose in a couple of municipalities, and in a month or so in production for some pilots. But in the next few months, we plan to introduce 2 modules, one for the licenses and one for the certificati di destinazione urbanistica for the municipalities. Welcome.
This was exactly also my question. Are there any other questions? No? If no, thanks a lot for your presentation. And the next speaker will start at 17:20, so we have a couple of minutes of break. Thanks. Okay, let's start again. Next speaker, Marco Cortella, again from the engineering group. And topic, get advanced analytical capabilities thanks to your analytics suite.
Yes.
Welcome, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Good evening to everybody. My name is Marco Cortella, and I live in Turin. I work as a BI and data visualization consultant for engineering. And today I want to talk about data. So today we know that we are surrounded by data. Oh, sorry. Let me go back. Today we are surrounded by data. No, something is coming about the presentation. Okay, we are surrounded by data, so we know that it's generated by personal devices, by companies, and also by public organizations. And we know that just collecting data isn't enough. We need to extract the value. We need more. We need to get information. So data is meaningful only if we can convert it into insights, if we are able to tell stories, to get information. And in order to do this kind of things, we need tools. We need something to enable us to extract the real value from data. And today, I want to talk about Knowedge. Knowedge is a full open source suite developed in Italy that will let you extract the real value of your data. What is Knowedge? Knowedge is a web application that you can use directly inside a web browser. It can run in your web browser from a desktop device, but even inside a mobile device like a tablet or a smartphone. And of course, you can install a server of Knowedge on your machine, but you can also choose to use one of the most famous vendors like Amazon, Microsoft Azure, or Google Cloud. And what you can do with Knowedge? First of all, you can connect to multiple types of data source. So you can use files, you can use databases or NoSQL, or you can even catch data from REST APIs, and even more. In Knowedge, we have different kinds of modules. So for example, let's start with Smart Intelligence. That means that you can develop data visualization or even dashboards to visualize your data and understand your data. Then we have the enterprise reporting. But what it doesn't mean? It means that you can create pixel-perfect reports that can be ready to be printed and even scheduled and sent by mail. And then location intelligence. That means that if you have geographical information inside your data and you want to visualize it on a map, that's possible. You can do it with Knowedge. And then, of course, performance management. That means that inside an organization can be helpful to understand and to monitor some specific KPIs to see how your company is performing. And that is possible also in Knowedge. And then, of course, custom analytics. That means that you can develop your own algorithms written in R or Python and integrate it inside Knowedge, for example, inside a dashboard. And then smart data. What does it mean? Smart data means that you can use multiple data sources and even connect to data like, for example, Solr or Elasticsearch indexes, and even perform full text search. And what you can realize, for example, you can build some beautiful dashboard like this one, or even this one, or maybe this one. Okay, so as you can see, the layout can be fully customized and can be really different from one dashboard to the other one. And how you can build this kind of dashboard in Knowedge? Just by dragging and dropping widgets inside the same space. That means that you don't need to be a programmer or a technician. You can just visually create a dashboard by dragging and dropping widgets of different kinds. Like, for example, you can have charts, tables, maps, and even if you want to customize it, use HTML or R and Python. And if you want to customize the look and feel, Knowledge is very flexible. And so, for example, you can customize it with using HTML and CSS. So combining HTML and CSS with your own data, you can create custom visualization. And of course, in Knowledge, we also think about how to do this in an easy way. So we created a gallery, so it's a repository where you can put and create your own template, for example, HTML and CSS, and then you can reuse the same templates that you have used in different dashboards that you can create. And for data scientists, it can be useful to know that you can use R and Python code directly to process the data in Knowledge, but you can also use R and Python to visualize your data, for example, using the most common used visualization libraries used by these popular languages. And also in this case, we created a function catalog. So that means that you can write your own function and scripts that you can reuse, but in case you don't know how to write this kind of function, you can also find a pre-populated catalog of functions that you can use inside your analysis. And then customize charts. So that means data visualization. So for advanced data visualization, you can also customize the charts that are available for specific uses. And also, if you want, you can also add your own data visualization library, even and all, in addition to the existing one that is also included in Knowledge. But Knowledge is not just dashboard. In the last version, we introduced a new module that is called data preparation that will let also manage the data directly inside Knowledge. So no other secondary tool is required. So you can get data, explore your own data, but also change and transform what is your data. And then after you have applied some transformation to your data, you can use it inside documents, like for example, the dashboard. So maybe we can see a video of the data preparation now. Thank you. Okay, so if you see the example, we will start with a data set that we created, for example, from a query on a database. This is the data preparation module where you can explore the data, so you will see a preview, and you can also perform filtering, so apply a filter on your data. You can also choose, for example, to merge fields of your data or split the fields that you have on your data. And then you can also combine data together, like in this case. Of course, after you have performed this kind of transformation of your data, you can also schedule the same operation to be performed on a regular basis. So, for example, if you put new fresh data inside your original data source and you want to repeat the same operation automatically, this can be done automatically by Knowledge on a schedulated basis. And of course, you can check how the schedulation is performed, and then you can use this new data set that you have created inside document, like, for example, a dashboard. Here you can see a preview of what is the final output of the data preparation. And one useful thing is that you can also, of course, export the content of the data set that you have created in a CSV file or Excel file. Okay, can we go back to the, thank you. So, we saw some few things about Knowledge. Maybe you are curious now about our solution. So, how you can get Knowledge? There are different ways to get Knowledge. So, for example, you can directly download the installer and binaries from our OW2 repository. You can also try Knowledge using Docker. That is a very popular way today. And of course, you can download the source code from our GitHub repository. And also, I want to repeat that, of course, you can find Knowledge in the marketplaces of very popular cloud vendors. So, if you want to try now, after this presentation, Knowledge, there is an online demo that is available at the knowledgesuite.com website that you can try for free directly on your browser. If you want to know more about Knowledge, just visit our website, where you can find free webinars that are regular, that you can find every month. You can find, of course, our documentation, and you can also subscribe to our newsletter to be updated to the new things about Knowledge. So thank you very much for your attention. These are my contacts, so feel free to contact me for any question about Knowledge. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. We have a couple of minutes for questions, if any. Okay, wait, the microphone is coming.
Thanks. Knowledge is, I understand, a free form and a paid form. Which are the differences between the, let's say, the free software and the normal price software? What is the range of prices?
Okay, so we have two ways to get Knowledge. One is the community version and one is the enterprise version. In the community version, of course, you can find most of all the features that I showed to you today, while in the enterprise version, you have some facilitation to perform some activities, like, for example, you can find some server management features to, for example, manage multiple installation of Knowledge, where you can import and export documents through different installation. And also, for example, in the Enterprise Edition, you get more types of charts that you don't have in the community version. But of course, let me say that most of all the things that I showed today can be also performed, can be done also in the community version.
Other questions? Okay, if not, I would like to thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
And we will start again at 17:40, so in 7 minutes, more or less, for the last speech of this session and of this first day of SFSCon. So see you in a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. So we arrived to the last speech of today, last but not least. So Fabio Giovannazzi, who is going to present this Android app called NewPipe.
Yeah,
Android
thank you. Welcome. I'm Fabio Giovannazzi, as he said, also known as Stipox on GitHub, and I'm a free software supporter living in Italy. I've started contributing to NewPipe since 2019, and now I have recently become a maintainer. So the outline is I will first talk about what NewPipe is, then illustrate some features, explain how scraping works in order to obtain information from websites, then talk about a few related projects, and finally explain how the team NewPipe operates. So, what is NewPipe? NewPipe is a lightweight streaming front-end for YouTube and other services. What this means is that streaming front-end means that it is an application installable on Android that allows viewing data from different streaming services such as YouTube, SoundCloud, MediaCCC, and others, PeerTube, for example. It is free software and privacy respectful. It allows to browse such services without strange permissions such as the official YouTube app, and also without ads. And it is available on the F-Droid store, which you definitely should check out because it is a store of free and open source Android apps. Let's start with some features. So obviously you can search for stuff and you get channels and videos and playlists. And then you can play videos. So if you tap on a video, you will get the screen on the right. You will be able to see comments, the point one, related or recommendations generated by services, point two, and also view other video information such as description and everything. The cornerstone of the application is obviously the player, which can be seen at the top, and the player can not only be played like with a video, but you can also put it in background in order to listen to music, for example, or I don't know, listening to podcasts or things like that. And you can even do multitasking with the pop-up or small overlay on the screen. The player comes with a notification and a queue, and the queue allows enqueuing various videos, as you can see on the left, and you can add multiple videos and play them all, for example, a music playlist, and you can even tune speed and pitch. On the right you can see a channel. The channels are, as you expect, they show you a list of videos, but also you can subscribe locally to them and receive updates through notifications, and you can build channel groups that allows you to view like feeds, and so all of the videos from all channels at once. Then we have downloads. NewPipe allows downloading videos, music, and videos, audio, and subtitles, and allows using them offline. This is useful, for example, when you play music multiple times. It doesn't make sense to download it multiple times. This uses less bandwidth. And also, we have multiple services, as I already mentioned before. YouTube, which you probably know about. Then SoundCloud and Bandcamp, which are two music services. And MediaCCC, which is the streaming service of the Chaos Computer Congress. And finally, PeerTube, which you can see at the top is the selected one, which is a free and open platform for like streaming, the free and decentralized platform for streaming. And you can like create instances, watch videos, upload videos, and like I suggest you to check that out. And NewPipe supports all instances, you just have to add them. Some of the upcoming features are being able to view other content from channels, such as playlists and information, shorts, live streams, and also being able to view comment replies, since at the moment you can only view the root comments. So now let's explain how the scraping works. That is, how our application is able to obtain information from websites in order to show them on the app, to show the information on the app. So, for example, here I have searched for Blender on YouTube. After searching, if I open developer tools, I get a bunch of data. And in particular, on the left, I can see the requests the browser made to the YouTube service. And one of these requests is actually the search request. And on the right, you can see the response from YouTube, which contains various information, such as whether this is a video or a channel, obviously the whole list of search results, and images, and all of that. And just by parsing that JSON file, in this case it is JSON, sometimes it is HTML, it depends, we can obtain all information and show it in the app without having to rely on specific APIs, since using APIs is often problematic because you need keys, you need access, you can be blocked out, and yeah, those are some problems. This is all done in a specific component of NewPipe called NewPipe Extractor, which is like central piece of NewPipe, and it is even developed as a separate project. It provides a common interface for accessing all of the various supporting services, and this is why other apps also started using it. So obviously NewPipe uses it, but also Piped, which is a web alternative to NewPipe, and LibreTube, which is really similar to NewPipe. It also works on Android. It has some different features and a better graphics probably, but yeah, it still has less features. And so let's reaching the end of the talk. How does the NewPipe team operate? So we are a team of international developers, and some of us are developers, some of us are just community managers, like keeping track of issues and reporting important issues to developers. There are some infrastructure managers, and for example, here I'm showing in some case you might get, for example, users disagreeing, because in this case the matter was that we had to add some new buttons to the video player, to the video details interface, but we didn't know where to put them. So we had multiple solutions, in particular 3 solutions. 2 of them are shown there. One of them is about showing the buttons at the top, on top of the thumbnail, but it had some problems because they would disappear when you play the video. Another option was to put them in, like here, when clicking on that button you would get all of the other buttons below here. And users were were all complaining about, I want this, I want that, I hate this, I hate that. And in the end we were able to reach consensus by creating a list of pros and cons about each option, and just having people vote, and in the end the right option was the one to win. And so I wanted to explain this process. One thing I get sometimes asked is whether NewPipe is a company, and no, it is not. It is just a community-made project that was created in 2016, I think, and yeah, it has grown rapidly, and there is no company behind it. We are just a team, and we write messages on Matrix and in order to coordinate. And yeah. So this is my presentation. I'm open for questions, and thank you.
Thanks a lot for this very nice talk. Oh, a lot of questions. Microphone thing.
Thank you. Two questions. Are you complying with terms of services of the streaming provider or content provider that you have already in the app? I think YouTube maybe it's the problematic one. And the second question, iOS or Apple devices are not on the roadmap as of right now.
So the second question, the answer to the second question is no. This is an Android-only app, even though this is written, the NewPipe extractor is written in Java, so I guess it can be ported, but I have no idea. As for the second question, yeah, we do not comply with Google terms of service, but which implies we cannot put the app on the Google Play Store. But other than that, yeah, there are no legal issues. This is allowed. Actually, NewPipe is basically a browser which does many fewer things than a browser, but actually it's just a browser, so it doesn't do much more than that.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. How does the playback of YouTube videos work? What's the backend? Do you use YouTube DL or something else?
No. Even though there are some Android apps that use YouTube DL, we actually just have our own NewPipe extractor, as I said, and it is able to, like, it basically does the same exact thing as YouTube DL. We sometimes collaborate with YouTube DL to solve issues when YouTube breaks things. Yeah, it just looks at the page, like I showed earlier. And one of these requests contains the URL to the YouTube video, to the video that you can actually stream, and sometimes YouTube puts encrypted parameters on that video, which if you are not able to unencrypt, you can't actually view the video. But since all of the content has to run in the browser, all of the data is available to us to understand how to unencrypt such encrypted hashes. And so, yeah, we do just that, and it usually works. Sometimes it breaks. For example, we had some problems with rate limiting, so you could download a video but only at 1 kilobyte per second, which would really suck. But yeah, you could fix it. We could fix these after some fiddling around.
Okay. Any other comments? Yeah, and there's a new one.
I would ask if you use for playing videos some library, well-established library, or is the playing is made as an original implementation in your project?
No, we use it is called ExoPlayer. It is actually the same exact player the YouTube app uses, and also many other applications. It is developed by Google, I think, and it is open source. I think it has some closed source parts that we do not include in the app in order to stream, for example, HTTP3 videos. Yeah, ExoPlayer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I would like to thank you for this very interesting presentation. Thanks a lot to all the participants. And let's close this session and this first day of SFSCon. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.